Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tales from the Roman Republic. I'm your host, Luke, and today we'll briefly examine a prelude to the Gallic sack of Rome in 390 BC, in which a portent warning the Romans was ignored, at their peril. In 391 BC, the Romans had good reason to believe that they were on their way to becoming the dominant power in Latium and Etruria, making heavy inroads into Etruria after conquests of the great city of Veii in 396 BC, as well as celebrating decisive victories over the Equi and the Etruscan cities of Volsini and Sapinum in 392. Yet, below the surface, portents had arisen that suggested that things may not continue to go well for Rome. In 392 BC, a great famine coupled with a pestilence ravaged the city, killing one of the two censors, Gaius Julius, the censorship being one of the highest magistracies in the city. The Roman elite appointed a Marcus Cornelius in his place. Shortly afterwards, both consuls caught the plague, and were replaced with 6 military tribunes holding consular power. The victories over Volsinii and Sapinum filled the Romans with confidence, and this proved to be their downfall. In 391, as Livy informs us, a certain Marcus Caedicius, a plebeian of humble birth, quote, reported to the tribunes that in the Nova Via he had heard in the silence of the night a voice more distinct than a man's, which bade him tell the magistrates that the Gauls were approaching. This portent was neglected, as often happens, because of the informant's humble station, and because that race was remote and therefore not well known. End quote. The Nova Via runs between the Forum and the Palatine Hill, and Livy specifically locates the place where Caedicius heard the voice as, quote, where the chapel now stands above the temple of Vesta. End quote. In this passage of Livy, we learn that a seemingly worrying portent was completely ignored by the magistrates on account of Caedicius's birth, a kind of aristocratic hubris that is a recurring theme in Livy's narrative. Of course, the portent would prove accurate, and in 390 BC the city was taken and sacked by the Gauls after the Battle of the Allia just outside the city. Livy evidently believes the fall of the city to have been a result of irreligion. As we saw in our previous video on Lucius Albinius, the Roman ambassadors had faithlessly broken their neutrality between the city of Clusium and the Gauls, causing the Gauls to march on Rome. Additionally, the replacement of the censor, Gaius Julius, after his death in 392 was judged to have been offensive to the gods, and Livy records that it was decreed that if a censor died in office, the office was to remain vacant until the term expired. Turning back then to the portent of Caedicius, it was decreed that after the recapture of the city by the Romans, that the voice that was heard should be appeased. Consequently, a shrine was ordered to be built to the so-called Ius Locutius, the voice of utterance, at the location in which the voice was heard on the Nova Via. The incident of the Ius Locutius was unique in Roman history as the only occasion on which a deity directly spoke to a human, rather than sending less direct prodigies or instruction in dreams. Indeed, Cicero expresses shock about this in one of his philosophical works, De Divinatione, in which he ponders that the voice spoke once and then never again. The shrine itself was lost to the Romans by the time of Livy and the late Republic, so the story must have been handed down through oral tradition. This no doubt contributed to the confusion of Romans such as Cicero. Thanks for watching, folks. I hope you have a great day, and see you next time for more Tales from the Roman Republic. If you're feeling especially fantastic, please consider liking, commenting, or subscribing, as it really helps my channel grow. Take care, and farewell.